Hey there, Big Talk Nation. Melissa and Roger Adkins coming at you from Hickory, North Carolina for our third episode of Melissa and Roger's Wildlife. As always, we want to extend a huge heartfelt thank you to our buddies John and Jordan for giving us this incredible opportunity and for welcoming us into the Big Talk family. We truly appreciate their permission to take on this project, and I can't tell you how much fun we're having out here rubbing elbows with the talent.
No kidding. Today we have the privilege and pleasure of sitting down with one of our local favorites, Throwdown Jones. But before we jump into our questions, we're going to give each of you an opportunity to introduce yourselves to some of our listeners who may or may not be familiar with the band. So if you will, just give your name, instrument, how long you've been with the band, and any other projects you may be working on.
Yeah.
You go first.
You go first. It's louder if you do it.
What do you need now? You need name, how long you've been with the band?
Yes.
What we play?
Yeah. Just a little intro of who you
How
are.
long we been together?
What time you
Was it
got?
17 years? Was it 17?
It's 2007. All right, so here you go.
All right.
My name is Scott Rock, and I play bass guitar, and I try to sing.
So do I. I'm Rob. I'm vocals. They don't let me touch anything that makes noise. So I'm Rob. Yeah.
I'm Dave. I play guitar. I've been with the band since 2007,
Roughly.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. that'd be-
Had to be right.
yeah.
I'm Greg Beaver.
He just got here.
I play guitar. Been with the band since we started.
Since forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Billy. I play drums. Been with the band on 8 years now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't believe
Awesome.
they put up with me that long. It's crazy.
Oh, well, we can.
I'm Reggie. I play tuba.
I'm Dwayne.
That's right.
Glockenspiel, that's why he plays.
All right, so let's get started. And anybody can just, jump in wherever you'd like with these. But how old were you when you began playing or singing, and how long would you say it took you to become proficient?
That's a great question.
We're professionals.
Still trying the proficient one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I started when I was 5, but I still haven't got anywhere.
I
Far away to the
I think
middle.
I was 13, probably 12, 13.
Yeah, I think I was about 13 or so when I started.
So how old are you? So we know how long ago that
So
was.
I'll be 54, so that's a long time.
Long time.
I'll be a lot better.
At least what? 30 years, 13,
I-
40.
I started playing, or started playing in clubs, singing when I was 16.
Playing or singing? You were playing?
I was playing in the clubs. Yeah, say it. Singing.
Singing.
I was singing.
He played it in there.
Performing.
Yeah.
He was performing.
Sick.
Yes, I would say 1976, so about that time, yeah.
Yeah. I realized back then, 16 years old, I never asked the lead singer for ID. So that was a good trick. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I started playing when I was 5.
Yeah.
That's why we're the backbone of the band.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's it.
I started walking a mile a day when I was 25. I'm 30 now. Where the hell I am?
We're halfway there.
So who was some of your greatest musical influences, and what made you want to be in a band?
Well, this is going to be a collaboration.
There you go. Go ahead, Gregory.
Oh, Lord. Well, I grew up listening to Metallica, Megadeth, SOD, Slayer. Then I veered off the path, way off the path, got into Stevie Ray Vaughan, Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner. And there's so many of them, man.
Why'd you start playing?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. My uncle gave me a guitar when I was 13 years old. And I just kind of hung with it. And then my buddy John Docker, bless his soul, he lived right down the road from me. And man, we'd get down there every day and just, we'd be like, hey man, check out this shit I learned from Metallica. I was like, hell yeah, dude, let's play it. And it just fucking went on from there, man. And just love doing it. Yeah, just love doing it.
I was surrounded by musicians. My dad was probably my first influence. My grandparents, they both entertained. My uncle was a professional drummer. But then I saw Kiss, and then it was like, well, yeah, that's what I want to do when I grow up. And my dad said, yeah, you be the biggest rock star you can, and you make sure you have a job to fall back on. So sure, yeah. And it was Gene Simmons, for obvious reasons. And that's really what lit the fire. Yeah.
That's awesome. And Kiss is actually how we started bonding in the first place. I saw you,
It was part of the Kiss Army.
saw you at a Firehouse show opening up, and you saw the patch, and then showed me your tattoo. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was it, yeah. It's amazing how music brings people together.
Well, for me, it was probably, I played a lot of, my dad played a lot. I had two older brothers that played, and I was around it a lot. You know, my dad played a lot of bluegrass and religious gospel music and stuff. And I started playing and learning some stuff from him, you know. And then, of course, my two older brothers, they bought me some Kiss records, speaking of Kiss. You know, so I got, one year for Christmas, I got Kiss Live. And I heard Ace Frehley playing, and I thought, man, that's the way to play right there. So from that, I started trying to, you know, copy his stuff, and that's how I really got started. And still to this day, Ace, I think, is one of my main influences.
I honestly started singing in church, and this is it's kind of messed up how this whole thing went down. I mean, I'll tell you. So we this was back in the day when they had traveling evangelists that would come and give you these why rock music is satanic and stuff, and I realized while I was sitting there and listening to this stuff that they were using for examples, that I liked that more than what we were listening to in church. And I think his name was Danny Castle. And he played the first time I ever heard "Running with the Devil." Actually, was he played a clip from it, and I left there and went straight to Sky City and bought that album. But after that, here's the thing: I couldn't throw a football, I couldn't dribble a basketball. But if you wanted to get some attention from women, you were in a band, and girls were the original catalysts, and all my friends were nerds, but they made noises. And so we were horrible, but we could go around and say we were in a band. And the influences. I loved Ronnie James Dio. I loved Robert Plant. I loved all the guys that were real fluid. And then Bruce Dickinson, Steve Perry, all the classic guys that they all go back to that were really disciplined and had such a good tone. So I thought if I could just try to have any of that, to see any kind of sound close to that, I'd be happy and making music with my friends. So that's how that happened.
For me, it was my family too. I told you the story once before. I used to go down and sit on the dryer and watch my dad and my brother rehearse. My brother was 22 years older than me, so they were adults and I was just little. And first time I saw them rehearse in the basement and I watched David Lohendorf play drums, I said, that's what I want to do. And got my first drum set at 5 years old, and it was a cheapo little, Sears drum kit or whatever. And they, my parents wanted to make sure I was going to stick with it. And when I turned 6 for Christmas that year, I got my first professional drum set. So I played on little paper drums for a year, and when they realized I was going to stick to it, they bought me an actual professional drum set. Lido Supreme was the first drum set I ever had. The red sparkle drum kit. Been doing it ever since.
Awesome. Okay. So how old were you when you attended your first concert, and who did you see?
I was 15 years old, and it was Metallica.
Wow. For me, it was Kiss, 1979. I was 8 years old.
For me, it was, I guess I was probably 13, and I saw Heart. That was my first concert.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was 12, maybe 11 or 12, and I saw Ozzy. Got to see Ozzy, and all the theatrics and him running around like a maniac, and how everybody was just into everything, and he got a hold of a crowd, and he'd give them stuff to do, and they'd all just. I said, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. That's a good time.
Me, I was
Billy
like,
so old he saw the Beatles.
close. I was like 7, and I said it was Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
And it was because my father's band was doing a daytime jamboree show with them, and that was the first professional big production thing I'd ever been to. And it was Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson.
That's two big ones.
Yeah.
And Willie was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite concert that you attended, and one band that you wish you had the opportunity to see?
Seen AC/DC live for the first time in, I think it was 93, 94, possibly. It was a stiff upper lip tour. By far, the loudest fucking guitar sound and best sounding guitar sound I've ever heard live. But second to that would be Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden. And of course, I seen Kids, and they were great too.
So they're always good. I mean, I have to go with the first as my favorite of all time, and I would have really enjoyed. Wish I could have seen either Elvis or Sinatra.
Okay.
For me, the concert I wished I would have been able to see, without question, would have been Diary of a Madman with Randy Rhoads before the crash. I would have loved to have seen Randy Rhoads play, because I'm a huge Randy Rhoads
Well, I
fan.
guess I would fall back. I didn't give one that I'd like to see.
Yeah.
That would have been it.
Yeah, that would have been it. And I'm a huge Maiden fan too, and probably one of the better concerts that stand out was probably that time we all went. The Maiden show.
Right. Yeah.
That was a great show. It's probably
That was a good show.
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a band field trip.
Yeah. It was great. Killer show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we all went. We were right in the middle, right. Band I would love to have seen live would have been Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio. I got to see Sabbath with Ozzy, and but I never got to see Sabbath with Ronnie. And I'd love to see that.
That would have been awesome too.
Yeah. And the other one, Prince. I never got to see Prince. Always wanted to go see a Prince show.
What was your favorite one, Robert? You think?
Favorite show ever? Honestly, I went and saw Elton John play 3 hours one night,
Yeah.
and it was just insane. No breaks, nothing. And it was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. It's just as far as bam, 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 bam. It was just. I was like, that's showing everybody how to do it. So. Yeah.
For me, I'd have to say probably I would have loved to have seen Zeppelin live and got to see John Bonham play live.
Yeah.
Prince too, for sure. I would have loved to seen Prince. My favorite show that I probably, we were fortunate enough to get to open for Extreme before anybody really knew who Extreme was, and just because it was such a intimate kind of, and Extreme was ridiculous live. They were so good. That stands out as one of my probably all-time favorites.
That's still the best band I've ever heard live.
Yes, they were incredible.
That's the best band I've ever heard
Incredible.
live.
Wow.
Extreme.
That's
Yeah.
quite a statement, yeah.
Yeah.
That really is.
And they were every bit of that. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of my favorites because, we opened for them, so I got to meet them. We got to hang out backstage with them and all that stuff. But then when they took the stage and they played, it was just like, Nuno was just ridiculous.
100 years ago, there used to be a club right here in Hickory that would get nationals that would come in,
I know you're talking about.
and we would get a chance to see these guys in intimate club settings. Saw Alice in Chains, saw Savatage, saw Queensryche played there. It was nuts.
It's like everybody that came through would stop there.
200, 300
Yep.
person
Yep.
venue, and
Yeah.
they would stop in there.
Doc and Warren, everybody played there.
You got to meet some of them if you hung around the back door. stand out there smoking
And that was at a time they were playing big venues.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they were. These
Yeah.
bands were at their
Yeah, they were
peak
playing-
there.
Yeah.
You know, they were.
Stadiums, man.
Everybody knew who they were. You know,
That's great.
like when Queensryche came through there, everybody knew Queensryche. was.
Alice in Chains had just dropped, man, the box. It had just come out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was.
And they came out and just tore the roof off that place. I was like, get this.
I'll tell you another band that I saw there, man, that was incredible. Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
They were fantastic. What a great band live. They were fantastic.
A lot of good bands came through that. So that's been a long
They're
time.
one of the lesser known. You know, they had one hit, really. And it wasn't even a big hit, but they had Walks Like a Woman. That was the one song they had, but that band was really good, really good.
Did Badlands play there too?
Badlands.
Yeah, Badlands.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, sure did.
Jake and yeah.
Blackfoot, Meatloaf. We opened for Meatloaf and Blackfoot there.
No shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Meatloaf
Yeah,
was
they had
one
some
of the
killer
nicest
shows.
people you'd ever want to meet too. He was fantastic, and the two girls he had singing were incredible.
It's awesome.
That was the band that the drummer had cotton balls in his toms.
That looked like
Yeah,
right.
and so when he played, the cotton balls would move, so they would mute the drums just enough, but they would move around enough too, so that they would give a little bit of ring. That's the first person I'd ever seen use cotton balls as a dampener inside
I
the
know what we
drums.
used to dampen the drums with, but we won't do it in the
I know exactly what
Hey Ma, I need a pad.
Oh goodness.
Next question.
cracking peanuts.
So who was your greatest supporter when you first stepped out into the world of entertainment?
My mom. It would have to be my mom. I mean, she would lug my stuff around in middle school to band, high school, anything associated with anything music. She was there helping me
Awesome.
along the way. Yeah.
Lord have mercy, I don't know. Well, my parents, of course, did. I mean, they didn't like the music, but they supported the wanting to learn and play and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Probably for me, my dad, he's not, my dad always played in church, and he was always a choir director, and he was always a minister of music, and he didn't, this is not his thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he always told me, he said, do your thing, and, go play. He said, you do something different than I do, but I love music like you do, and I know the love for music you have, so do your thing. And he'd never seen our band play ever. And towards the end of his life, he wasn't getting around too good. And one night we were playing in Morganton on the square.
Mm-hmm.
And, we had some big crowds out there, and we're getting ready to play. We got our stuff together, got our sound check, got changed, getting ready to go to stage. And I walk out to the stage, and I turn around the corner, there's my dad standing there. I'm like, what are you doing here? You don't like this kind of stuff. He's like, I came to see you and I wanted to see you play. And that really I had like tears coming out of my eyes. He hung around for a song or two and he was gone, but he always supported me, and I'll never forget how that made me feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we need to continue this outside? You can get over
Whatever you guys want to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, now he shuts it
No,
up.
no. Yeah, he heard you. Yeah. Hit us up like that. Yeah, it's fine, right?
No, you turned it down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. My mom and dad put up with it. So I, they knew I wanted to sing, and so the band practice was at my damn house in the basement, and then it would go on for hours. And God, we were horrible. We were so bad. It was pathetic.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you
But-
to the tonight.
Well,
Now we have a
we
contest class with us.
they put up with it, and then years later they kind of softened to what Dad would all be. I wish he'd play some of the Elvis songs or play something that he would want to hear, and then but they toward the
I'll never forget the first time we played in the acoustic band we had, Acoustics. I remember we played uptown,
yeah.
and I looked out there and there was your mom and dad, there's my mom and dad.
Yes, sitting right beside each
I was
other.
like, damn, you got my dad out there. It was funny though, man.
Yeah, it was good, and they were proud of us. That meant a lot. It really did. That was good.
It's
night.
always good to see your parents or like his mom. You know,
Yeah.
it's always good to look out there.
Heck, my mom surprised me. Drove up.
See Scotty's
for,
mom before. Yeah,
That's right.
Drove up for that big Halloween show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure
well,
did.
She came up to
Surprised
Daytona.
me.
Yeah.
She came up to Daytona, but you knew she was coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were on the bus and somebody said, "Scott, somebody outside wants to see you." And there's my mom. Drove all the way up from Hollywood. So
That's
awesome.
Oh, that was over Tom. Was that Tom?
Yep. I'd have to say my mom and dad too, easily. My band's practiced in our basement too, and mom tolerated it, dad tolerated it. Wasn't dad's kind of music either, but the cool thing about that was my dad did it. He was doing it, so he knew all about it, and he would kind of keep me straight, keep me grounded on the right way to do things and what not to do. It was no matter what, because it was rock and roll and we were loud. Because, I used to really play loud back when I was younger.
What do you mean you used to?
It was really
A little side story to that. My friend Rick and I, we just got some new stuff and we're cranking, we're rocking the house, and all of a sudden we hear something break. And my mom goes, "Oh my God, that bowl was 97 years old." And I'll never forget, I said to my mom, "Oh goodness, thank goodness it wasn't new." She lost it. Oh, this is a great
Oh no.
It just shook right off the
I
table.
remember a story. My mom would go out on the back porch, and she would smoke. She'd go on the back porch and smoke. And when we would take our breaks, we practiced in the basement. We'd take our breaks and we'd go out the back garage door. And I remember coming up from band practice, or it was the next day actually. It was after, because we practiced pretty late. So the next day, Mom said, "I don't know what those boys were doing out back." She said, "But they had a sandwich bag, and it looked like it had oregano in it, and they were taking it out and they were putting it in paper and rolling it up, and I think they were smoking it." I'm like, "Really?" I said, "No, I don't know what that would have been. I have no idea what that should have been, Mom."
I can find out. I'll
I
ask.
said, "I'll ask him. I'll talk to him about oregano, you said?"
That's great. Well, we were still sneaking cigarettes though. Everybody had to go outside. They wouldn't use the bathroom in the house. He was, "Well, I'm going outside to take it."
Man, doctor would be like, "Hey man, this guy down the road lives down here. He'd give us some beer." I said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
Yep. Thought that was living too. What is it, playing rock and roll, drinking?
Yeah. Man, I was 14 years old.
14 years old.
Smashed.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes.
Falling down somewhere in a field. Yeah.
Yeah, more than once.
Yeah.
So, what would you say the best and worst thing about life on the road as an entertainer is?
I don't know if there is a bad.
The best thing, I mean, just getting out playing music in front of people. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a blessing that we all can.
Yeah, the best thing is-
We all take that to heart right there. That's
Matter of fact, me and Don, earlier today here, we had this conversation about, we was talking about making money, or making money in band and stuff like that. You hear people, if you ever hear a person, and this has always been my motto, if you ever hear a person that says they're doing this for the money, they're lying their ass off.
Yeah, they are.
And it's like Scotty said, we do it because we love to do it,
yeah. I mean, we've been blessed, and I mean, to let that talent go to waste.
Well,
It's
it's
always
like
been a
when we go somewhere new too. I mean, when we were in front of a crowd we've never played for before, it's like, okay, here's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to get you to like us, okay, and then we're going to try to figure out if you like us by the first 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, then we feel like we've done something, and it's like that every new place we play, We hope we do at least one thing that people get into or think, I didn't see that before. Or,
I mean, probably the bad stuff about being on the road is when your axle blows out in the cornfields
Halfway to
Iowa.
Sturgis.
Of Iowa.
Or if you run out of gas on the way to Daytona.
Or you run out of gas. I mean,
The gate said quarter tank.
or if you
I
pull
don't
into
mind
a
about that.
fast food McDonald's and everybody's high that's working there, and you're trying to get
Sometimes you
food.
throw a bitch fit in the middle of Colorado.
I remember telling Robbie, I said, man, that damn old woman in there just grabbed my ticket off the counter, was going to throw away, I didn't have my food. He said, well, duh, Greg, look where the fuck we're at.
It's like,
in Colorado, Denver.
yeah, they had just legalized weed, and everybody in there,
Yeah, oh yeah.
everybody in there was red-eyed and half-lidded.
I think everybody in Colorado was high.
Yeah.
We had and I had got my stuff. Well, got my
Big
bag.
bag or something.
I got like a Big Mac combo, and I was walking up to get back in the what were we were in the
I
well,
think we
that
actually
van.
had like a van or something
Yeah,
or something.
and all my shit fell at the bottom of the bag because it
After
was
waiting
wet.
all that time to
Yeah,
get food.
He football kicked that
and
sucker.
I don't know if you realize the aerial you can get on a Big Mac. I kicked that son of a bitch across the parking
I'm
lot.
standing over on the other side eating my shit. Here comes some lettuce.
Yeah, I was like, you
There's Dave and I.
son of a...
Dave and I was just sitting there eating corn.
Yeah, y'all went to.
We went to a chicken place.
What's it? Yeah.
What's Robbie's hunting a Big Mac?
Yeah, I was putting Big Mac across the parking lot. They were up over their corn.
I turned
Damn,
to
I
Dave.
hate that.
I turned to
Back in
Dave.
there, hell, we got another 45
I
minutes.
had like 2 bites left. I said, you want to buy these?
No. Yeah.
I mean, if you had a video camera right now, you could explain to the people, but I turned to Dave and went like this.
Yeah,
He's
Shoved
like,
my shoulder.
what the hell do you think's going on over there?
yeah.
I said, what? Asked Robbie. I heard him holler. I was like, what's wrong with you? He said, I dropped my damn shit.
Sons of bitches, wasn't even right to begin with.
Fell on the damn bag.
Yeah. But we had all just had enough at that point with everything.
Yeah, we were actually
That's
on the way
the
home
only
that year.
downfall.
Yeah.
We were on the way home that year, and we thought, well, hell, it'd be cool to just go back through Denver and come back across. No, it wasn't. It wasn't
I
cool.
can add one more to that. Until we all got CPAP machines, everybody, that was a motherfucker when it came to touring. Because everybody was snoring like a freight train. You could never got
What was
saved.
it? Will woke
That's
up-
one
we
I
woke
never
up in-
thought of here.
I know. Yeah.
We woke up in that hotel.
Usually it's
room
family.
Thank God for my life
It's-
work.
It's him snoring.
that Will sat straight up in the bed and he said, you motherfuckers snore in harmony.
We wake up in the middle of the night, he was just there in a fetal position, just rocking. Yeah.
Well, hell with
man.
that quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Damn, I slept good with it.
Sorry.
Okay. So what's the key to allowing, especially for you guys being like a cover band, what's the key to allowing your musical influences to shine through in your craft while simultaneously ensuring that you develop your own unique sound?
Play it your way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, none of us play everything note for note.
No.
We have to put our part into it to give it, our meaning and deliver it.
Okay.
We can't hand somebody a blank piece of paper and say this is how it's going to be. We got to add our color to it. No matter what. We all have
we're not
different
that good.
influences.
We're not that good. Yeah. No, it's crazy. There's always some songs that we do because we want to. But the majority of stuff is stuff that we know that the crowd will enjoy and and little things like that. But we try to remember what got us started to begin with.
Yeah.
The spirit of it anyway.
Well, and then too, it's like, we used to try to pick some of those songs or do some songs like that people don't, it's not like on the mainstream kind of deal.
Yeah.
And then they'll be in there and then we'll play it and they'll be like, damn, I forgot about that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of deal.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So do you guys have a favorite song to play live?
Oh, all right.
Wow. What
What's your favorite?
I don't know shit. You know, anything that really infects the crowd.
Yeah,
That's my favorite song
Yeah.
of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
The crowd
When I
reaction.
see somebody just react to a song in a great way, or shedding a tear, maybe it thinks of a loved one or something like that. That for that night is my favorite song. Yeah, I really don't have one.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys? Any particular favorites?
When you play one of those songs like Greg's talking about, that's like an old, you like, okay, we're like, okay, nobody's going to get this, but there might be one or two, and then you're playing it, and you see that guy in the back or that girl in the back, and they're like, they're getting it, and you're like, that's why we play it right there, because you can see it,
And I guess it's if you play those songs like Scotty was talking about, if the crowd reacts at different places about the same to that song, then you kind of look forward to playing it in the set, because it's going to be a good song for it or whatever.
Cool. So do you have any songs that you played for an audience and the reaction wasn't quite what you expected? Like in terms of it being either a bigger hit than anticipated or maybe receiving an underwhelming reaction to a song you really love performing?
Yes.
There is a vault for it.
There's a whole scrapyard full of
We spend hours and hours on songs just to play it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put it aside.
and
Yeah.
if it didn't hit, it's like,
Yeah.
we tried.
There's times that me and Dave, I know for me and Dave, probably Scully too, you get that song, and like he talked about, it take a week or so to figure out these parts for that song, and then you go play it live one time, and we're like,
we're playing one time, and then it just sits there when you play it. Okay. People are like, what's his?
We turn around and say, well, we did that. That happened. That song happened.
Down, in other words, back burner.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any routines or secret tips and tricks to go and keep you at the top of your game? Anything you swear by?
Practice at home.
Miller Lite. Miller Lite.
There'll be stands where we won't play for a while, and I know me and Dave talk about that all the time. I keep the guitar in the living room, sitting on the love seat, and I'll, if I get time, and I'll reach over and grab it and play it for about an hour or whatever, and then,
I think the main thing is when we decide we're going to add a song or something, we talk amongst ourselves, and everybody comes to rehearsal pretty well prepared, and it doesn't take long to just kind of get it worked out.
That's probably
I think that's
a
probably
great piece of advice
yeah.
for anybody.
Yeah.
come to practice
Right.
knowing what you're supposed to know, at least to be familiar with it.
Everybody rolls in with their parts, and,
Yeah.
and the parts are correct, and it don't take
Don't take long to get
You're spending the rest of the time trying to sweep it in
Yeah.
with everybody.
Yeah.
And
And just along with that is practice.
Well-
practice. I mean, individually,
Yeah.
before we get together,
But one of the things that I've always thought was great about when we got together, even if it'd been, we've been playing so much that we hadn't gotten together for rehearsals, or it's been a minute before we all get back there. There's parts in every show where it clicks. It might be for one song, but
Or the fourth night in a row.
yeah. But there's a point where this thing happens, and we can all feel it. It's like a
and it's undescribable.
yeah. It's a weird lock. It's a weird lock in, and for that moment, for that time,
And you think to yourself, there's nothing better than this right here.
yeah. And this is the only chance we get to be a superhero. I mean, during the week we all have we have jobs, we have lives, and we do. But when we get to do this thing that not everybody does, and this is our chance to be a superhero for a little while.
Yeah. That's
Love
peeking out on there. You want to go outside?
Just taking the meter in.
Begging the meter.
I mean, it's kind of been doing that the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah,
It picks up
It just
every
picks
little
up.
thing. It's fine. So what's the secret to becoming fully comfortable and confident in front of an audience?
Oh shit.
A mirror and a tennis racket.
For me, it's you're never.
You're never comfortable.
I've been playing for 38 years.
Yeah.
And every time that I'm always nervous.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't go on.
Yeah, and if you're nervous, something's not right.
If you're not nervous, you're either too drunk to get on stage or too high. Or, you know what I'm saying? That don't happen. So, yeah, it's just, I mean, for me, I don't know how the rest of the guys feel about it.
What was the question again? It was like, what do you think?
Like, how do you go on?
How do you become comfortable
where you're
and confident on stage?
The best thing probably would be to, I don't know, have your parts. The best you get them, muscle memory is the key. That's what they
Well,
do.
also having people around you that take it seriously,
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about, well, did he hit his part or did they hit their part? That takes a lot of stress out of the situation.
I don't worry about none of these guys in this band. I know Scotty, Dave, Rob, Billy. I know everybody knows what the other one's supposed to be.
That's probably a big comfort thing right there.
9 times out of 10, it does happen. You know,
Yeah.
it works out.
But that doesn't count for, all of us hitting the note at some point. We all look at each other like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I used to be real bad.
And then the comfort level just goes to 0.
Ready to give you the stink eye.
I played the little snake out. What's that?
That's when somebody hits a bad note and you go, was that me? No shit.
I did that one time. Bam! I was like, damn, that's me.
So, have you guys played any location or venue that really stuck out to you, or is everything kind of just a blur now?
Go ahead. I mean,
There's a lot. There've been some shows that have been very special, very nerve wracking, and then when you get off stage, you feel like you've accomplished something, whether you have or you haven't.
Yeah.
But we got to headline our hometown.
Okay.
This huge festival they had.
Yeah.
And
That was a good one.
that was a good night. And we got to play in front of people that we grew up with, the people that our parents.
People started watching us back when we started.
Right.
A lot of it.
I got to go back to way back for this one, but it's one of my most memorable moments being in this band was a time when Rob's wife passed away, and we took a long hiatus. That first show back will forever live rent free in my head. The music that came out of us, those magical moments, that was definitely one of them. So yeah.
There's been quite a few like that.
And speaking to that, that's the part where we stopped being a band, and we were a family. And I didn't think I'd ever play again. I didn't think and these guys told me it was up to me whether this band kept going or it didn't. And
I mean, it's one of those things, man. It's understandably, if it was a no, then hey, so be it.
Yeah.
and they wouldn't let me fall down. They wanted me to sing, wanted me to get it out.
You sure as hell wasn't gonna play guitar.
No, I was not.
I've always said Robbie could do 2 things. He could sing and he could draw. But that's it.
That's all you got. That's all I got. But yeah, that's when this stopped being just a band. And we've had trials. We've had things that we went through.
All of us have went through personal.
Yeah, and within a 6-month span, 3 of us lost our dad in 6 months.
Yeah.
That's, these guys, like Rob said, we just,
It's the best medicine.
yeah.
It's the best therapy. It really is. Yeah.
It stopped from just guys that make noise with each other to you know what, if I can't stand up, they'll get me. And
I think everybody in this band knows the other one's got the other one's back.
yeah.
No matter what it is.
That's awesome. So, what would you say are the most crucial components that go into a song that help elicit an emotional response that's felt rather than something that's simply heard?
Bass guitar.
I agree. Next
It's
question.
all about the best, no trouble.
Take a bass out of a song and see what you got.
I don't
It's
know.
called the root note.
Yeah. There's got to be something in there
Components.
that speaks to you.
Yeah.
There has to be some part in there that either rekindles something in your youth or makes you feel in a camaraderie with the people that wrote it.
Isn't it amazing how music can take you back to a place
Yep.
so vividly?
Yeah. And there's songs we played hundreds of times, and it may be a particular night that it gets a different reaction, and it becomes a whole new song. You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And then
how
there's
that-
some, that particular song, a certain person we've played it 1,000 times can't remember the damn beginning.
Yeah,
You have to be able to sell it too.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'm
have
not
to be
talking
able-
about you, Bill. I'm talking about me.
You got to sell it. You got to present it. It's got to be polished before you do any of those things.
Sure.
So,
I guess if it passes the approval of all of us,
absolutely.
then we feel like we can go try it.
Yeah.
So, have you guys ever become discouraged due to like certain trends and what was going on musically?
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
like,
gosh,
how did you
yeah.
push through that? How did you?
I know the grunge thing. I never got
Here we
into
go,
it.
Robbie.
I was
I
stuck
know.
in 1980
Just let him
something,
talk for a minute.
and I know these guys love it. I mean, I respect it. I mean, you know,
Well, I was kind of on that same path,
yeah.
honestly. Because when you were listening to the stuff that I was listening to, like Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer, and all that stuff, they were kind of starting to. But then all of a sudden, here comes Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. I was like, hell yeah, all right, you know, that's not me all right now.
You know,
I got discouraged.
it was more than
Yeah.
just Nirvana and Pearl Jam. There was
Yeah.
decent ones.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
There's some
It's like, what's happening to our music? That's what I was saying. I mean, if there's anybody listening that really cares about
But
that
here's the
stuff.
thing, though, you know, even the stuff, even the hair band stuff, to the grunge stuff. There's this primal thing that's in that music that speaks to something in you, and you know that's why I liked Alice in Chains. You can hear just that disjointed minor harmonies and you know that kind of stuff, and you hear things like that. Well, that's just a soul crushing. That's
Yeah, that was a continuation of Sabbath.
yeah,
in a way.
somewhat. But now things are so saturated, and
Yeah.
things are
But they made it okay to play shitty guitar. Is
Yeah.
the way I looked at it.
yes.
Well, I feel like after that grunge era, it went for a while and there just wasn't shit. There wasn't nothing. There was nothing to look forward to. And I think that's why people started grabbing a hold of all this 80s stuff, bringing it, you know,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
absolutely.
that, you know.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing out there that was,
yeah.
that even was even close to that.
Well, the onset of that too changed the whole music industry. It changed the whole way bands made it. Bands got signed. It just changed it from that point on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But with what we do, we get to pick and choose, and we get to sell a product that people want to hear, want to see, and we play to a crowd that doesn't really like some of that stuff. I mean that's my opinion. If we start playing a whole bunch of that stuff, and I think we would lose a lot of.
We do like to throw a curveball every now and then.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And a lot of sinkers.
yeah, a lot of singers.
Oh,
A lot of
that's-
singers.
yeah, absolutely. Sure.
What would you say is the reason music has the ability to unify such a diverse group of people while most other aspects of life tend to cause divide?
You know that old saying that music is a universal language?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's kind of like what Robbie said a while ago. It's like it makes people think of something.
It brings you
And
back
they don't
to a
care
place.
where they're at.
Yeah.
Music.
So if you've been to a Maiden concert in another country, or if you've seen a Maiden concert in another country, and it's just a wave of thousands of people moving to what's going on that stage, it's incredible to see. It's incredible to be a part of. I'm sure all of us have been at shows where it's just like it's hitting you, and the whole place is going crazy. And, yeah.
I think that too, music is a spiritual experience, and there's a difference in watching a live concert, and there's a difference in Monday morning at 9:30 in the morning, put your music on to get you to work. You know, it's still tapping into that same part of you, and there's so many people that feel the same way about certain things, and so many people that want to feel, you know, reminiscent of something, or anger, or frustration,
That's exactly
and
what
that's what it, you know, you can always find that.
He said it better than I did. That's what I meant.
But that's the same way it is with church.
absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
that-
It really
you know,
is, yeah.
They play hymns in church
Yep.
Yeah.
that tap into you, that make you feel something inside you.
That's why people, all Baptists, would rather go to a certain church that they've done something at that church to keep them there.
So you know how they'll have singers. They'll have groups that come, and, you know, they'll sing,
Yep.
right? And I remember the church that I went to had a group called Charles Johnson and the Revivers, and they showed up, and they had Les Pauls, and they had the most warm, soulful sound of any gospel group I had ever heard.
Yeah.
And I said, this is basically the same. This is rock music. It's just, you know.
Like I'm basically getting the same feeling.
Yeah,
Really.
it tapped into the same thing. It's like, this made me feel the same
Yeah.
as this.
And it's like you're talking about church, like when people are getting emotional at church. Sometimes in the morning, you get up and you're at home and you get your coffee and you crank the music up, and all of a sudden some song just comes on and it just hits you, and you get that same kind of feeling.
You follow
Yeah,
the
that's
convention
right.
in the kitchen.
You do, right in the kitchen.
Right in the
I mean, I don't do it every morning, but I'll
Yeah.
get up some mornings and get in the truck like you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
And that song just hitting you.
man, I feel like hearing this certain song, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah.
go in there and I'll
There's-
find it.
Yeah.
You know?
There's certain songs that you just don't turn off, and there's certain songs that you'll sit in your car until it's over.
Until it's over.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Love it.
So, what would you say the biggest obstacle your band's faced over the course of your career, and how did you guys overcome it?
Obstacle. Gas money.
Now, how did you overcome gas money? I'm still trying to figure this one out.
Well,
We're
you spoke up, so go ahead and tell me.
You know, obstacles happen in what we do, but it's really how we come together and get over them. I mean,
It's kind of what we were getting on a while ago. You know, the same thing with what went on with Robbie. And of course, me and Dave had our endeavors, and, you know, but it worked out.
yeah, personal, physical with the band, with equipment, you know, logistics. You know, there's all kinds of obstacles that happen. But
there's a lot of strange things that we got to do because of the band, and I get to give Dave credit, because when we were in Sturgis,
South Dakota.
we were went to Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah.
The whole band did, and we pulled up there, and Dave said, you know, the only reason that we're here is because we started playing rock and roll. We wouldn't have seen this.
Yep.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have been here to see any of this
That's
if we hadn't been making noise.
that's a
in the
great
basement.
statement for a lot of things
Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
done.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hell, I wouldn't have went to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania if it wasn't for this band and what we did.
Yeah.
You know, I probably would have never went.
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's the good stuff.
So this one might make for some funny stories, so we threw this in. Have any of you ever been injured on stage?
Yes.
No, but I've been saved. Thank God.
Go on and tell them.
So, yeah, we're playing at Daytona, Main Street, kick-ass stage, really big subwoofers, and I'm a little, active on stage, and I feel the power of the Lord coming through me.
Is that what that was?
Anyway, so I step out on the sub. Well, the wheels were down on that sub, and that sub started to move, and we're 5.5 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I stepped to the side, and I'm falling backwards off of that speaker, and one of our buddies was standing there right by the side of the stage while I'm playing, and as I'm going down, I land on my feet, thank goodness, but I'm falling backwards, and he catches me. Keep playing, run back around on stage, and we're still going.
Nothing happened.
Goodness
Needs
gracious.
to do that.
Yeah, injury wise. Somebody got hit in the face with a Twinkie.
Yeah. Okay. There was a time
No boy.
in the band that we used to make jokes about Twinkies all the time, and so we would start showing up at shows. People would bring us boxes of Twinkies, and we would throw them out in the crowd, and so they started coming back to the stage,
Unwrapped.
yeah. And we would do that for a while. That was a whole debacle.
People would get, artistic with Twinkies.
Yeah.
But it was a hell of an idea, whoever came up with that.
Yeah, and it was. There are pictures to prove it.
It was fun to watch. I mean,
It was. There's a good time. So
I don't know about injured, but I've seen some weird shit.
yeah. We have the best seat in the house.
So I gotta bring this up.
Go ahead.
We played the Halloween show. We used to put on our own Halloween show at Morgan Armory. And
old fashioned.
I think this happened at the Armory. Rob was wearing flip-flops. Was that at the Armory?
No,
No, that wasn't at the Armory. What was
that was there was a time.
Go ahead. You know the story. Go ahead and tell it.
There was a time when I would wear flip-flops on stage, and sometimes I'd take them off during the show, and I would sing barefoot. This was early on, and we played a place that was in Rutherfordton.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
Real country.
And we had, it was a great crowd, big crowd.
Great crowd.
It was,
Yeah. There was some
go ahead, tell them.
intoxicated women in the front row, of course.
Yeah.
And I looked down, and this chick is kissing Robbie's feet. Or sucking on his toe. One. I couldn't tell which.
She tried.
Somebody yelled, "Get the bastration."
And I was like, God damn, that's the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
I ain't never seen no shit like that.
And I've seen a lot of shit, but that was the weirdest shit I've seen right there, man.
Nothing beats the little people in service.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty wild.
that was interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, we've seen a thing or two.
I don't know if I want to ask this one now. What's your proudest moment as an artist?
Proudest moment.
This is it. We're here. This is.
When
Would it be the time we got to do the Clinton thing?
Oh yeah.
well, the Bill Clinton thing was,
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
We have to play for the president.
I was gonna. Well, that leads me up to that.
Go ahead.
Probably, you made it when the girls up front are pulling their tops off.
Well, there's that.
And I was waiting for that to happen at the Bill Clinton thing.
So was
No,
he.
You should have brought cigars.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't know. That was a joke. I was joking.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I'd say for me, it's probably what I was talking with Robbie about when we first got that little acoustic band together. And we were starting to play a lot of places. We played, and I looked out there and said, "My mom and dad."
Yeah. Yeah, that's that for sure. And and when you can say you know in the beginning when you were first starting out, your parents are supporting you, and you're doing this in your 40s and 50s, and hell, we started in our 30s, right?
Yeah.
And
we were
support.
we were supposed to do beer. This was for beer money.
Yeah.
None of this was supposed to be. Yeah, we weren't going to be serious. We're just going to get
This
together.
was not anything that any
No.
of us expected.
No,
And to see your parents that's there and your fans that still support you, that's
was the festival 2017,
17 or 18.
17 or 18? There's you can go on YouTube, and because our parents were there at the festival, we gave a little shout out
oh yeah.
before.
That was great.
That was before Fat Bonnie, wasn't it?
Fat Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fat Bonnie Girls. And there's a video on YouTube, and that's something I'm glad that happened after losing some of our parents.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
And we've got that.
Yeah, that was caught on camera. That was great.
We got to open for
That was
YT in Charlotte one time. Now that was pretty cool. I was pretty proud about
That
that
was.
because we met Dave and Katie, and
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And those are great guys. Too. They hung out and talked and drank and was,
Yeah,
and of
that's
course,
a good night.
Yeah.
we got to play with Brett Michaels
Couple times.
Couple
That's
times.
nothing but a good time.
and our buddy Pete.
Yeah, we became good friends with Pete. What you meet people and you connect, and he was one of them. That was really cool. They treated us really nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got, Billy?
I don't know. So there actually a lot. I guess for me, it's just getting the approval of my family. Knowing that they approve of what I do. That's kind of proud.
Yeah, I think that pretty much good for all of us.
Yeah.
My mom, every time I talk to my mom, what's going on with the band? So yeah.
Yeah, every time my mom calls, you playing this weekend? Yeah.
Love
Where
it.
at? Well, be careful.
Always, because it ain't far away, is it?
Yes, that would too. Where's that? That's an awfully long ways away.
Yeah. It's a long way to go.
Mom, I drove to Sturgis. I think I can make it to Charlotte.
So, what advice or recommendations do you have for aspiring artists attempting to make it in the industry today, particularly those who are unsure of the best way to get started or put themselves out there?
That's a tough one given the industry today.
Right.
Because the
Don't
landscape
quit
has
your day job.
changed. Yeah.
There is no go record a song, make an album, go tour it. And the only way they're going to hear it is go buy the album.
Well,
I don't know.
one of the
That's a hard question.
That's tough.
we have yet, in my opinion, to reach the pot of gold, but we sure have enjoyed the rainbow.
Sure.
And if you were to give any advice to any band, enjoy the moment,
Yeah.
because that stage can be taken away at any moment.
Yep.
Yeah, first of all, if you're in a band and you know where I'm playing, consider yourself lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to respect it, you have to appreciate it, and you definitely have to love it. And like I said, we've not got to that pot of gold. We sure came close a few times, but that rainbow, you really have to enjoy it.
And the little moments are just as important as the big moments.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
we all have memories of places that we've played, places that we've stayed while we were playing there, playing and just stupid stuff within the band. The other thing is everybody in this band's funny as hell, and so none of it's ever serious. We can bust out laughing or at the drop of a hat over the silliest stuff, and
Late night jollies.
late night jollies.
We've always heard stories of bands getting together, and that's and not lasting long,
Yeah.
or switching guys out because of conflicts and stuff. And thankfully, we've not really had a whole bunch of that.
Yeah, that's a big part of it too. Like I said in the last one, you have to understand as an individual that you're part of a group. You're not. It's not about you. It's about the band.
Right.
So as long as you can keep that in perspective and know that you understand you've got 4 or 5 other people that are trying to do the same thing you're trying to do, and it don't let it get out of control for your ego, your personal ego.
Sure.
Well, we've always said that not one person is bigger than this band.
No. That's like I've had people come up to me at the end of shows and stuff say, who's the leader of y'all's band? And I was like, dang.
There is no leader. Yeah.
Well, if you want a book, talk to him.
If you want to book a show, go holler at Billy.
If you want to talk about guitar stuff, talk to them.
Yeah,
Somebody aspiring that's coming up, though, I tell them go for it. I mean, it's like, this is the best thing in the world. Really, I mean, and like Scotty's saying, playing the shows and going and doing the things we've got to do, that's great. But that's a part of it,
Yeah.
And the rest of it, the going
places.
and getting a place and hanging out at the beach and doing a week of shows and just the craziness, Nobody needs Comedy Central these days. I've never laughed so hard. It's so.
It's those good belly laughs too, where you can't breathe.
It's just get it out of your mind that backstages are nothing but
stupid
parties.
little videos that we used to make at the beach.
Yeah.
Me and Dave's running down the beach holding a cooler. One cooler, 2 people.
Yeah.
It's the junior high school humor.
There's a lot to be said for that right there. This has allowed us to keep that junior high sensibility.
It really
That's
has.
just the crazy part of it.
Yeah.
Just you hanging out with your buddies and doing stupid shit.
Just the continuation of that, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really
That's
is.
what it is.
If people saw our group text, they
Yeah, they nobody would ever come see us again. No. We
We don't have a group text.
me and Scotty continually try our best to come up with the worst insult for each other's ethnicity.
He's usually blowing smoke though.
Yeah, see what you did there? That's all right.
That was a cheap shot.
That was a cheap shot. Well, listen.
I know something about smoke too.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
So it's funny. I have to tell this story. So Rob's an Indian. Okay.
Better not die.
Scotty's Jewish.
Yeah.
The first Beaver Bar show I played with these guys at Myrtle Beach, there was a sign that said Indian jewelry. So, and Rob and Scott were standing under the sign looking at it, but they were on the opposite side. So I went, hey guys, switch sides for a minute. So they switched sides and I took a picture of it and I cropped it out. And it said Indian Jew.
Yes.
And it had Rob and Scott underneath it.
And we had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah, that happens.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
This is all one
Yeah.
high school
Me and
continuation.
Dave
to
will
get
sit
to
back and take it all in.
Yeah, it is. That's the part we love. Yeah, that part of it we love.
I'm not offended by it.
No.
So, is there one thing that you want about your band to be known by your fans? Like one thing that you would like to put out there?
Is probably
Not the group chat, obviously.
Thank you for letting us do this.
I think every single show it's important that we get that message out there to tell people how appreciative and really thank you for supporting us.
Yeah.
For letting us to
Yeah,
this
without them, there is no us.
No.
that's right.
Yeah, because there's nothing better than, it's like, even if it's a sucky song to us, but it's a good song to them. There's
And
nothing better than
you can
standing
never
up
lose
there.
sight of that,
Yeah.
as you've witnessed with some of the big time players. You can't do that, no matter what. If we were on the road making gazillion dollars, I guarantee you every single one in this band would still be appreciative of the people that come out.
Absolutely.
They take any time possible.
For me, it's just it's nothing better than us getting up there and it clicking, as Robbie would say.
Yeah.
And looking out and seeing everybody having one good time.
And it's nice when we go somewhere and play. And we got, we're fortunate that we've got a really good group of fans that follow this band.
Yeah.
We've made some really good friends. And it's nice when we go somewhere far off at the beach or Florida or somewhere, we look out and, hey, there's some of our people right there.
Yeah.
So, that's always one
As
of
you
the
guys
best
have done
feelings.
before, like, what are you
Yes.
guys doing?
Yeah,
Yeah, so a big thank you, man, for me.
Absolutely.
doing that.
I love that. Love it. So, fortunately, it sounds like you guys haven't had too many internal conflicts within the band, but what are some of the best ways that you found to diffuse conflict with, like, crew personnel, venue staff, or if something does
16-ounce
go on?
gloves.
16.
It's not that we haven't.
I carry around
Communication.
quarters in my pocket.
Communication is the key.
Communication is, and we decided a long, long time ago, which every one of us are smart enough to not bring that in this circle.
Yeah.
You can't do it because it doesn't. It's like I was getting ready to say earlier. I had some of the guys I grew up with and known that were musicians and stuff, and they're like, God, how do you guys stay together so long, man? What is it now? And this, at the time, it was like 10 or 12 years we'd been together. And I told him, I said, I can't answer that, dude. I said, I really don't know. I said, it just works, with these guys, because everybody knows what we're doing.
Well, like Rob said too, it's, at some point it became a family,
Yeah.
not just a band.
And that's the other part of it, yeah.
And we don't always agree on everything that we suggest or talk about. It's just we're all adult enough to be able to discuss it, and if it's something that 2 or 3 people want go one way and 2 or 1 go the other, you just move on.
Yeah.
There's just it's pointless to dicker and argue about stuff like that. It's just we're all adult enough that.
And as far as like what you're talking about with crew and stuff, there has been. I mean, we've let some go, but you have to sit back and go, well, what's best for this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's about what's best for the band.
Yeah, we got 2 guys now, Mike and Ryan.
Oh, that's probably the best 2 guys I've ever worked.
Yes.
What an asset.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just second to none. Both of them are just they're the best. I mean, really are.
Can't
They
say enough about
they help keep us 6 feet up under stressful situations. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, because, 99% of the time, one of them's on point. If something goes wrong,
Yeah.
it just, like Rob said, you can't say nothing about those 2 guys.
So if we don't agree on stuff, we'll turn to them.
Yeah. So, all right, David, what y'all think about that?
What do you think?
What elements would you say are key to a lasting, successful musical career?
A lasting, successful music career?
Yeah.
Be yourself.
You gotta love who you're playing with. Honestly.
Yeah, if you could be true to yourself and love the people around you, yeah,
Be
absolutely.
true to yourself, and stay on your game, and don't be a dick. I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't try and be something you're not.
yeah.
100%. Because that makes everybody else feel comfortable.
I know everybody, we enjoy going out in the crowd and talking to people and stuff like that. Like Dave said, don't be an asshole,
Yeah.
It's not going to get you anywhere.
True.
And that's none of us anyway. So,
Yeah, but as far as the longevity part of it,
Yeah.
I think you got to love who you playing with. They'll piss you off from time to time. but-
definitely. It ain't like I ain't never been mad at you.
Oh, I know. Motherfucker, you owe me $5.
No, that's probably the main thing.
Honestly, to hold a band together, it's like you hear people that give you analogies about marriage. That you have to talk, you have to communicate, and you got to make concessions, and you got to know when this is the best thing for both, or
I mean, it's like it's brothers.
Yeah.
We're brothers because in your families argue from time to time.
That's right.
Yep.
But
For me, I spend more time with you guys than my actual brothers. And you have to really think about things like that.
So I mean, you just like a family, you gotta work it out and move on.
You do.
Scotty, you got $5 ain't borrowed.
Well, we talked about this earlier. No.
So that's a good segue into our next question. So, who would you say is the biggest joker or prankster of the bunch?
Joker? I mean, Billy's sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob and Billy both. I mean, if you ain't paying attention, they're
Dave
gonna
don't-
cut you and you won't even know it.
Dave don't say, I agree with Scotty on that, but Dave don't say a whole lot, but when he does.
He brings all of us.
It's like walking in a beautiful grass and all of a sudden you step in shit and you're like, God damn.
They will break it down to you. That's what we used to do, Roger. Remember when we would start shows? That's all right, Dave.
How's this gonna go down?
How's this going to get done? They go, this house is going to get done.
Everybody in this group is a joker. I mean, it's like we were talking about a while ago. This is a group of 5, and especially when Kyle's here,
No, God.
it's madness.
It's
It's
adds
crazy.
to it.
Yeah, it's
Madness. That's
Well,
that's
it's like
what
we
it's right.
get done playing shows and stuff like at Daytona or Marble, then we get back to the house. We usually eat, and before everybody goes to bed, we're usually talking about wrestling from 1982 or some shit. You
Or
know?
somebody will immediately go into Dusty Road.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about hard times, Ric Flair.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
true.
Yeah.
it is, man.
Just the dumbest stuff. Yeah.
So, what's the one main impression you want to leave fans with today and always hope to be part of your musical legacy?
I'd say fun.
What?
I want it to be fun. We always want
Yeah.
to be fun. If you went and saw the Throwdown Jones show, it's fun.
Yeah, don't take us too seriously.
No, 'cause we don't-
We're not the
we
greatest musicians, but we like to have a damn good time when we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like people don't really hear music; they see music. And when they come
Yeah.
to see you, you want to. I'd like for them to look back on it and go, they were good. That was a good band to
What's
sing.
that old expression? People hear with their eyes.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
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 Letting them know that we gave what we had to the fullest, and hopefully you take something from that.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, any additional fun facts or stories you would like to share before we let you guys go tonight?
How much time you got?
However much time you do.
Fun facts?
I think
How?
Scotty's funny.
Could we come up with something?
Kyle will get a whole alternate history.
No, I said how.
Oh, yeah. Look, Morty.
Fun facts. Well, most of us sleep healthier now.
Most. Thanks. Thanks, Scotty.
Yeah.
I can't get plugged in with the seat back there. Yeah, honestly, we've had a good time doing this. If it all ended tomorrow, we had the best time we could ever ask for, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't regret it again.
No, not at all. We sure have enjoyed that rainbow, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that pot of gold is still, we haven't hit it yet, but we'll get there.
I have no regrets.
No regrets.
Not even one.
Not even a single
No
letter.
regrets. No, not at all. This is truly, I mean, every time I step on stage, it's a blessing. I mean, for all of us to have, I mean, how we met is just some of the most weirdest stuff you can come up with. I mean, how I met Dave and how I met, because I wasn't from this area.
Yeah.
And, we met years prior
We did.
to me meeting these guys, and there was a mutual friend that they knew that when I first moved here, I jammed with him,
Yeah.
and they contacted me years later.
Me and Robbie knew each other for years.
Yeah, these guys
It
have
was
known
years
each other
later
since,
until we finally started doing stuff together.
Yeah. We were cousins when you were cousins.
Yeah. He
And
played,
how-
like when we were in high school, he had his band, I had our band, and I was in. And we'd always go do these battle of the bands things. They would always come in first, and we would always come in second.
couldn't have been more perfect.
No.
Yeah, it kind of fell right in
That was that's one of those blessings again. It's like, we're stuck on the side of the road in Iowa
That's happened
with
once. Like,
with no one for miles and miles, or an exit for miles and miles, and people pull up right behind us and offer help.
yeah,
It
the
was
guy
just-
that come in behind us, he had everything to fix
Yeah.
our problem.
I mean,
And
there's
I'm
so
like,
many.
How are you? There's no way in the world you could get that lucky at that time of night.
Yeah, we almost fucked up a gig playing for Bill Clinton because we thought,
We thought they were joking.
we got a phone call after a show or something, and can you be here at such and such in the morning?
that was
like,
all.
yeah, right, whatever. Click.
Yeah.
And then we get calls about playing with Scott Stapp and Brett Michaels and Winger and the whole Night Ranger
show
deal.
was it was on a Sunday, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
We
we
played
just-
on Saturday, and then
Yeah, we were at Scotty's house.
Yeah.
We was all hanging out at Scotty's house that night.
Yeah, we were drinking.
Yeah, Henley.
Yeah. No one believed it for a second.
Nobody, I was like, this is bullshit.
just a prank call.
Nope. Nope.
Turns out it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out a lot of angels on our shoulders looking out for us in this
That's
band,
awesome.
for sure.
You say that's the first and only time I've played in a polo shirt.
I was gonna say, we had on collared shirts.
We had
What the hell
It was
wrong
a
with
festival
us?
spring show.
Yeah.
Festival type.
I look like something straight out of the Down the Eastern commercial.
And it looked great because he had a nice,
I had hair.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You both did.
and he had,
Yeah, that's right.
You both did.
and he had a purple guitar,
Yep.
It wasn't purple, man. It was lavender.
And
lavender guitar.
they actually gave us a list of songs we were not allowed to play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Devil in a blue dress.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Have a cigar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
there was
Hurts so
a whole-
good.
Yeah.
Oh, pour some
Pink
sugar
Houses.
on me.
Yeah, we could play Pour Some Sugar on Me or
Pink House.
I think we
Secret
played Pour
Service
Some
gave us
Sugar
a
on Me,
list.
but we didn't see it on the list. That's why. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, right on, guys. Thank you so much for taking your time to sit down and talk with us today. We really appreciate it. And for anyone near Hickory, North Carolina area, come out to Wayno's Silver Bullet this evening to see Throwdown Jones. These guys hit the stage at 9 p.m. and we promise you won't want to miss it.
And they certainly throw one heck of a party. Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in today to this episode of Melissa and Roger's Wildlife, and we hope you'll join us again soon. We hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. Be safe out there, and remember to be excellent to each other. Much love to you all. See you next time.